Welcome to the 2020 Hope Global Forum's annual meeting. America on Reset. Healing a Nation. Opportunity for all.
History doesn't feel historic when you're sitting in it. It just feels like another day. But that doesn't mean the moment you're in is not historic. And I'm sitting with an iconic leader for our time, and I don't use those words lightly, and a friend. His name is Ed Bastian, and he's the chief executive officer of one, I believe, the best airlines in the world, Delta Airlines. This is the sort of airline when the stock momentarily goes down, you look to everybody you know and go, buy, because you know it's going to come back. And I'm honored to be here with you.
Well, John, it's good to be with you. You're such a dear friend, and I've always enjoyed doing these sessions of the Overtime.
Yeah. Well, this is a special time. The last time we saw each other, we actually hugged each other.
Yeah.
I had to think about that, but I think the last time we've talked a lot on the phone and by text, but I think the last time we physically saw each other, I believe, was at an event.
Yeah.
And it was a different moment in time.
Yeah, we had dinner together.
Yeah. The world has changed.
Yeah.
And there's so many things to discuss, but the one thing I want to say before I say anything else is you remind me of what I call a Woodruff-era leader. Robert Woodruff was CEO of Coca-Cola in this city, and he had left his position and was replaced by another CEO, and he was out at a hunting lodge, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had just won the Nobel Peace Prize. And we all romanticize these moments. But in that moment, it wasn't very pretty. Dr. King was on his way back from Norway, and the president didn't want to meet with him for fear he'd ask for another civil rights bill. And the city of Atlanta business community didn't want to honor him. And the mayor asked the CEO of Coca-Cola, would he bring Woodruff in? They went to go meet him at the hunting lodge. And Woodruff said, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Get everybody together. They called the business leaders together and said, knock it off. What are you guys doing? I don't care whether you like Dr. King or don't like Dr. King. This man has won the most important award in the world. He's a positive disruptor. Of course he's going to irritate you. He's one of the most important awards in the world. We are a global supply chain company. And if you don't want to honor this man, okay, but we're going to move out of this backwards town and go someplace where people have got some sense. Now, you've got a week. Figure it out. And within a week, all the tickets were sold, and the ballroom was full.
That's great.
People were standing along the wall. And in the short term, Dr. King never knew anything else. They kept it from him. And that story, if we didn't share stories like that, would never be told because he didn't tell it himself.
Right.
But in 1960-something, that's pretty bold leadership.
Yeah.
Before COVID-19 hit, you were hit with other crises, which for most CEOs would have their knees buckle. The issue with I forget what was it, another nonprofit trade group. It was I don't want to name names. It was about something silly, and most CEOs would back away from that. You stepped right up because you thought it was the right thing to do, and turned, I think, a negative into a positive. And here you are again, in the middle of a 120-year-old global pandemic. Mm-hmm. Steady, calm, centered, and assured. Mm-hmm. Why? What's that true north in you? What's guiding your decision making, your thought process?
Well, again, thank you, John. It's great to be with you, and I always look forward to these sessions. Yeah, I just finished before taping this with you a session with all of our people, and I do it every week. And thousands of people dial in a virtual town hall, and we talk about the business and where is it going. And in our business, the thing, and for me personally, what the pandemic has caused is a lot of reflection, a lot of thinking about where we were. Remember, we were just this past year when we last saw each other physically at the highest of highs. Yeah,
we just announced $2 billion in profit sharing for your employees.
Yeah, and
Valentine's Day.
That's airline performance of any airline in the world ever, right? And then 30 days later, slam, the worst. You know, we're going to go down in history, hopefully closer to the Woodruff model, as you suggest, than what I'm facing and feeling at the moment. You know, the best performance in our history in 2019, and the worst performance in our history the next year. And the juxtaposition of that. And you can say, yeah, it can rattle you, it can cause a lot of sleepless nights. But what it's for me is it's made me think even harder about our purpose, about why we do what we do, about the impact we have, about the limited period of time we sit in these chairs, and the need to continue to leverage every opportunity you have to make a difference, whether it's in your business, in your community, for your people, whatever the challenge is. And I know we're doing that. And you know, listen, traffic and air travel is really, really off. I mean, it's, you know, we're only back to maybe 30%.
But it's coming back.
But it's slowly coming back. But we know we're going to get there. And the thing that we've learned through it, and I credit my boss, Frank Blake, the CEO of Home Depot, former CEO of Home Depot, is the chairman of Delta, and he's my boss. He said to me at the start of the crisis, he said, you know, crises don't build character. A lot of people think you go through these crises, especially in our business. You know, you jump from crisis to crisis. Crises reveal character, and they tell people who you are and what you're made of, and that's what they remember about how you manage through it. And I think about that statement every single day, every single decision. I want people saying that Delta was the airline that took great care of them, that customers love us and are closer to us than ever before, which they are, and we see it in our results, that our people have this sense of pride about how we're working through this challenge and how we're taking good care of them, and we're doing it in so many different ways. You know, haven't been needed to furlough a single employee, for example. All the things that we've done that have never been done before in our industry, and they're going to define where we're going. And yeah, it was wonderful last year. It was great, and we all enjoyed the celebration. But this year is going to be a lot more meaningful than last year was.
Well, you know, also success is easy, but we're built by failure, and rainbows only follow storms. I had an 80-year-old and an 18-year-old tell me the same thing within this past week. When I fly, I will only fly Delta because they actually care about my life. I believe you're the only airline, at least I was told, that still has middle seats open. That says something about your character. It says something about your priorities and your values. It says that we have a long view and not just trying to jam as much revenue down somebody's throat as they can in the short term, hit some quarterly numbers. You have a long view of the world, and you care about your employees, out of the profit sharing, and your customers, all of the health and safety standards. I felt safety. My wife and I went, I sent you a photo, on a trip. It's really funny. Shacher was like, do you need us to get, you haven't been on a plane in a while, you need us to try to get you one of these Delta business class seats, transfer it to your office so you can sit there and don't go into trauma. I know you're so comfortable. She's pretty right. So we went on a trip, and we felt more comfortable from the curb at Delta through disembarkment than we felt in any part of the trip before or after our arrival. It was such a seamless experience, painless. It was well thought out and curated. And somebody put a lot of energy into that. And that confidence, I think, starts at the top. But this can't be easy. No, it's not. We, you know, in the early days, I centered our thinking and our team strategy around the word protect. You know, protecting our people, protecting our customers. Now that's our customers and people. That's who we're protecting. Protecting our cash. We had to raise a lot of money because we knew it was going to be a long storm. And then, just as importantly, protecting our future. You know, we weren't going to make any decisions that were going to derail us from the greatness of this company, and where we're not just going to get back to, where we're going to go beyond into the future. And we've been leveraging those opportunities to do that. The protecting people and customers is all about instilling confidence back in travel. We want our
customers, by the way, and our employees, because our employees are just as nervous about the virus and as our customers would be, to have the same confidence in their experience on Delta relative to their health as their flight safety. You get on board a Delta flight, most people do not worry about their flight safety.
I agree with that.
And you know, the one thing that the pandemic has caused us all to do is take a lot of stuff that we took for granted, you know, kind of re-examine, you know, re-explore. And we want our customers, and our customers do, and they tell us they do, they feel just as safe with their health and their public health being on board our planes or in our airports, in our locations, as their flight safety. And so it's in the DNA of our company's safety and protecting. And the better job we do that, even at the risk of losing money. And listen, 40% of the seats we fly today, we deliberately don't sell. Because we want everybody to have the seat that's next to them open. And that's what it takes to put purpose back in people over profits.
Well, there's purpose between the profits. There's purpose in the seats between the profits carrying the balance sheet in the short term. But, you know, you talk about you hope that this will end up being a Woodruff-like story. Well, in the short term, Coca-Cola took a hit for that position they took. But African Americans carried Coca-Cola for 2 decades after that here in the States, and they are still one of the biggest growth markets for Coca-Cola in Africa. Blacks who are still great fans of the brand because it became about not just what you do for me about the product, but how do you make me feel, right? And I think that you're making a very smart long-term bet that you're not just an airline, you're a brand. And it's about culture. It's about your values and what you stand for. And the move you made around profit sharing, have you seen, I used to say to people last year before all this happened, if you got on a Delta flight and you had flight attendants and ramp workers, wherever, smiling at you, saying hello to you, well, they're shareholders.
Exactly.
They're the one who watches rental cars.
They're a big stakeholder.
So they were participating in your upside. Well, now they're also participating. The question is, is that sense of value and ownership and how you treated them transferring into the offset of the pain? Is that helping the process of your transition?
Absolutely. I am so proud of our people. And, you know, again, going from the world where, you know, getting this amazing payout and opportunity and growth to people worrying a month later, is my job even safe? You just think about bringing it down to the personal level. And you know, am I going to have this job to count on for my future, for my retirement, for my security? And you would think it would create a lot of anxiety, and of course it is, it's anxious. But the people of Delta, I've asked them all to step up and to leverage into that reservoir of great will that we have together, and pull our airline forward and put the airline in a position where we can all build that future. And they have done that. Perfect example. We had, throughout this last 6 months, we've had on average almost half our people, close to 40,000 people a month, volunteer to take the time off without pay.
Wow.
Almost
40%.
40,000, close to 50% of our people for this entire period. And so we've been through this last 6 months, and we have actually saved almost 50% of our labor bill.
Wow. What's the guesstimate of that number?
Oh, it's in the billions.
So wait a minute, hold on. This is a really instructive point for leaders out here. You know, I keep saying you can be a capitalist, a successful capitalist, and not be a jerk. They invested $1 billion, then $2 billion in profit sharing, which, by the way, is not a giveaway program. That's profits that they earned over their cost and return to investors and shareholders. But now you're seeing that return on investment that is equaling tens of billions of dollars from your employees who don't see themselves as in an adversarial relationship with their employer, who says, "Look, we're here with you."
And so we've been able to do everything on a voluntary basis. You know, our people, we don't have work in the airports at the level that we would typically. All the ground staff took a 25% reduction in hours, you know, voluntarily. we've been able to get to the point now where we've not had to furlough any employees. As a result of that, we still have one group, our pilots, we're still working, they're unionized,
right.
and hopefully we get through that too.
Right.
But it's just remarkable. The worst event in our history.
Yep.
In our lifetime,
yep. Over
and an industry that's probably been one of the most impacted, if not the most, and we've been able to distinguish ourselves. And the other airlines, unfortunately, are facing some very, very large layoffs here in the coming days, and at Delta we're not as a result of that. So to that point, John, that investment in them,
yeah.
They not only have returned it, but their morale is stronger, and they're more gracious, and the gratitude and the thanks that they provide now is even better today than it was a year ago.
To me, we can almost, I want to cover a couple other quick items, we can almost stop the interview now, because I think I really want those watching this from here and around the world, and other CEOs who have been sort of watching the Delta example and the profit-sharing model, which puts you in alignment between management and your employees versus the old, and this is me talking now, the old union position of you're an adversary to me. Mm-hmm. Management and the line workers are in an adversarial relationship. The Bible says a house divided cannot stand. Mm-hmm. And I think unions have to reimagine their purpose, mm-hmm. to see themselves as partners with within management, because if your partner loses, you lose.
That's right.
But that's another conversation. But you invented a reimagined, as KKR and some others have. Let's participate. Let's let our line employees, an hourly wage even, participate in the upside. Now, I think people have been watching that going, okay, but is that works on the way up? Maybe. I'm getting less of my profits, but does it work on the way down? This can be this is hope monetized.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is goodwill, mm-hmm. monetized,
yeah,
on a balance sheet.
On a balance sheet, and it's saving jobs, and it's saving our future. We're an industry where our people have a lot of technical proficiency, a lot of technical training. If we were forced to go into layoffs, it takes a long time to get people schooled back and trained and put into the right position. So we're going to be able to get through this pandemic with our people intact, with our people in position, ready when the recovery starts to really kick in, and we're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, when that starts kicking in, you'll be kicking rear end.
Absolutely. And one other quick thing I want to say on the people side, it's not just about the saving of the money.
Yeah.
It's also the performance they're doing for our customers. We are an analytical airline. You know that. We send surveys, data, and customer feedback is what drives our focus on what we can do to get better and to continuous improvement.
I like to have natural sugar in the plane, by the way.
Net Promoter Score is the tool we use, as many leading consumer-facing companies and brands do. Last year, our Net Promoter Scores were in the 50s, which is a very good number, best number we ever had. We were high-fiving that.
What's the top?
Well, top's 100, so kind of 0 to 100, and we're in the 50s. No airline at our scale, big global airline, that was anywhere close to us. Mm-hmm. This summer, we're at 75. 75.
Really?
From 50 to 75 in the face of a pandemic. So when you talk about your experience on Delta, and it's Net Promoter, so we only count people that are just advocates of our brand.
Right.
And we're carrying, it's not, while there's not as much travel going on anymore, we still carry about 1 million people a week today, so it's still a pretty big population we're surveying, and that's what the people are doing. They're serving customers, they're saving the company money, they're saving jobs, and they're positioning us to have a hell of a recovery. A hell
of a relaunch.
Yeah.
Two final questions. We talked a little about this off camera. E-commerce had seen a 15% increase in the last 8 to 10 years of folks buying online. They saw an increase from 0 to 15 in 8 to 10 years. They've seen an increase from 15 to 25% in 8 months, less than 8 months. And I don't think we're going to go back to the way the world used to be. There'll be some balancing out, but people like the convenience. I have grown more in the last 6 months in everything I'm doing through crisis, through challenges, through the fire, character reveal, than I have in the last certainly 8 to 10 years, and we are having a more impact now than we have ever had. Rainbows after storms. Is that also, my guess is yes, but is it also been your experience? Has this been a learning moment for you, a doubling down moment, a reflection moment, an innovation moment, or is it just a crash? Or is it just a fire and a third alarm fire every day?
No, it absolutely is. As I said, I focused on the word protect, and the third protect is protecting our future.
Okay.
And we're taking our business, which is a high volume, high intensity, 24/7 business.
The first two was what?
Protect our people, including our customers.
And profit.
Protect our cash.
Yep, right.
Raise enough cash to get through the winter.
Right.
And protect our future.
Got it. Okay.
And the third protection of people, you remember what travel was last year. It was planes were full, airports were full.
One of your top 1,000 flyers.
24/7 operations around the world. It's tough to get in and fix the infrastructure. We know we have to improve the airports. We know we need to improve the technology, the planes, all of that, when you're running at full speed. We've taken the opportunity during this lower period of volume to say, okay, we're gonna accelerate our path. We're going to take our future and we're going to pull it in. We're going to pull it forward. And so airports, perfect example. We just opened up a brand new airport in Salt Lake City, a brand new hub, first new hub built in this country, in the middle of Versailles. We opened it up 2 weeks ago, and it's beautiful. We're going to be opening up in L.A., your old hometown,
yes, that's it.
Brand new Terminal 2 and 3 in the next 2 years. Okay, originally it was a 5-year plan. We're going to get it done in the next 2 years.
You're going to save me 45 minutes from going around the Terminal 4 and 5.
You're going to have an amazing airport there. LaGuardia. We're building the new LaGuardia Airport, pulling it in a couple of years. Doing the same thing here in Atlanta with some modernization, pulling in the future. Our aircraft, any airplane that we were going to retire in the next 5 years, it's already retired.
Just do it now.
So the planes you're coming in are the newest generation planes, best fuel efficiency, best customer comfort, best opportunity. You'll have a better experience. Our fleet just got a whole lot younger because of the pandemic. Technology, we're modernizing our technology stack. We're going to be building to the cloud and creating much greater agility, which is hard when you're running at full out to take the risk around it. We've moved people around.
All the time.
Organization. We've got so many leaders we've taken and put in different positions because, as we're building to the future, we want to see what these leaders have, the opportunities. We don't want the people that kind of built where we were. It was good, but we want to be better.
That's right.
And we're giving, and this is the time to make all those changes
That's
while your risk profile actually is lower.
The Delta Pinterest board is full.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the time, 2020 is the time to reimagine, plan, dream, execute. Well, that's good to hear because that's confidence.
Yeah.
That's belief
it is
in the
confidence.
long game. That's that marathon view versus the base hit view. My wife, who's a big fan of yours, Shadra, wanted to know what you're doing around wellness. What do you think about wellness in this environment?
Yeah.
Is that part of your mindset? Do you, as you know, I'm about financial well-being, operational financial wellness. She's about health wellness. Is that part of, we're talking around it a little bit in the culture and the environment.
So important, John. I said we started on the word protect, and I'm moving now into the word resilience.
Okay.
And the focus going forward is about being resilient and what we've learned. Things we took for granted, our health. We took for granted. We're never gonna be the same after going through this experience, and that's okay. We've learned a lot about ourselves, about testing, and because we test all our people now, we track our people, we trace. We're all over this stuff and into the science because we know testing is a big key to getting us through this. For myself personally, I've become a Peloton junkie. I'm done running marathons, so you won't have to contribute any more to my crazy marathon journeys. But I'm a Peloton junkie, and I'm on that machine 3 or 4 times a week, all kinds of crazy times, hours of the day, evenings or mornings or whatever. It's about connecting, with loved ones, family. Yes. I think everyone can relate to that. We've all had a lot more time to spend it, and hopefully we're all being very intentional about how we do it. So I just got my oldest daughter married off a few weeks ago.
Oh,
and so
congratulations.
putting on, as I said to everyone at the time at the wedding, putting on a wedding during a pandemic was a heck of an achievement. But we did it safely. We did it, tested everybody, and it was a beautiful, beautiful affair. And my youngest, who's now 17, spending a lot of time with a 17-year-old. And you're going through this kind of crazy world with a 17-year-old daughter, and being as close to her as ever through this, and seeing it through her eyes. You learn a lot. Yeah. So this has been an amazing opportunity. I don't want to go through it again.
You feel me both.
but there's been a lot of learning. I feel good about myself. I feel like you got to replenish. We use the marathon analogy. We're still in the early miles here, and I know what it's like to run a marathon and take care of yourself through that preparation and getting through that race, and keeping your people with you. I mean, because everyone's reacted a little bit differently. Yeah. And you see some people kind of run to the fire, and they're ready to go, and other people are wandering around disillusioned. What just happened?
That's right.
And you got to level set, and you got to kind of push through that and focus on where you're going, not where you've been.
In my new book that comes out called Up From Nothing, I talk about the surviving mentality, a thriving mentality, and a winning mentality. And a winner thought they were a winner before they won anything. And you're sort of the LeBron James of the airline industry. And LeBron knew he was going to win. He just didn't know how. Michael Jordan knew he was going to win. Oprah Winfrey, whoever they are, whoever your heroes or sheroes are, Steve Jobs, they knew they were going to win. They just didn't know how or what.
Right.
And I think that's something from the day I met you, you struck me as a winner. And the thing that's different now, and it's almost brought me to tears in this interview, as I look in your eyes now, and I see a deeper soul. This has touched you.
Yeah.
And it's changed you.
It has. It has.
This has not been a lost moment on you. You are looking me. You're not looking me in the eyes. You're looking me in the soul. You are looking at every moment as precious.
Yeah.
What can I learn? What can I do? How can I be better?
I agree.
And God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we listen twice as much as we talk. I want to thank you for being you.
Thank you, John.
And for being a friend to communities. I know you're giving back. Your philanthropy continues at Delta in spite of all of this. Your community campaigns, your employees giving time to community continues. The 100,000 people who work for Delta, the 50,000 people who've cut it a break are all contributing to this local and national economy. They're going to my friend, the Buckhead Mercedes, black owners, and buying some cars over there. They're going to restaurants. Because you've given them confidence to stay engaged in the economy.
Right.
And those things don't get acknowledged. And I want to just thank you for how you lead and not just what you lead. And personally, I want to thank you for giving me confidence to wear tennis shoes with a suit.
Best thing we've learned, right?
Now I look cool.
Yeah.
This is the Hope Global Forum. This has been a unique and special conversation with one of my favorite people and a member of our Hope Global Board of Advisors, Ed Bastian, CEO of Delta.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.